All right. All right, everybody. We're getting ready to have some fun tonight. Go ahead and jump on in. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun tonight underneath the red light. It is very cold in Atlanta, and the red light that you see is the red light therapy that I show people how to do. Very easy. You don't have to buy expensive stuff. You can simply get the fixture and the light off of Amazon for literally less than 30 bucks. But peace and love, family. Y'all already know who it is. This is Mikael, aka the Holistic Jedi. Tonight, as in every night, we're going to be going over some high-level, reliable, holistic information so that you can have the clarity that you need in order to take the right actions so that you can get the quality of health and happiness that you're looking for. Now, tonight is going to be very special because I'm going to be having a conversation with someone about Tantra. And I shouldn't even say someone. I'm going to be having a conversation with a master teacher of Tantra about what it is. When you hear the word Tantra or Tantric, usually it's associated with tantric sex or something very sexual. But I want each and every person to know, this is not just my personal opinion, but this is like really the facts. Tantra is a wonderful system that can be used to connect with the deepest parts of you, because in order to do it, you have to connect with the deepest parts of you, right? So I'm going to see, Tim is going to come on in. Timothy Gibson is the person that I'm interviewing. You guys don't know him, but I'm really excited to introduce him to you guys because everybody, look, let's face it. Life without purpose is meaningless, right? But life without pleasure isn't fun and isn't worth living, right? So the ability for us to take what would usually be our weakest parts, our parts that usually create chaos in our lives, this potent sexual energy, or this potent, whatever you want to call it, this primordial energy, the ability for us to be able to create it, to curate it, to use it in the way that we see fit to help ourselves release trauma and all the other things that we hold on to that create a lot of disease. This is going to be very informative for you, very informative. So you definitely want to listen, and if you have questions, please ask your questions. Your questions create the barometer. They create the guide that's going to guide this conversation. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Now let me see where my brother is. Let me see. One moment, family. Bear with me. Let's see. While I'm here, before Tim comes up, I no longer do consultations outside of bioresonance scans. So, when you have me here, this is the best time to ask questions. If it's something that's private that you don't want to share publicly because it could be a little embarrassing, then you could use the question tab. Or if you just want to type it out, you could just do that too. Either way, it works for me. So let's see. I'm going to give you guys my story and introduction to Tantra. And with it, you guys will probably, you'll probably be like, this is impossible. But everyone understands the concept that we're all connected, right? We say that a lot. Everything is connected. All things are one, if you ever read the book The Alchemist. But nobody has ever really experienced the feeling of being connected with everything. You get a taste of that feeling when maybe you smoke a little cannabis. You get a taste of that feeling when you take mushrooms. And you get a sip of that feeling when you take ayahuasca. For those of you who have ever done that, you know exactly what I mean. If you haven't, then the next best thing that I can describe what that feels like is in an orgasm. When you have an orgasm, when you take mushrooms, it's like you have an orgasm in your heart. And when you take ayahuasca, it's like you're having an orgasm, not sexual, but the energy and emotional intensity of the feeling. You're feeling that in every single cell in your body. And you begin to connect to all the electromagnetic fields around you. So for me, and for what I've experienced with Tantra, y'all, you guys wouldn't even think it's possible. You know, when you learn how to direct your energy, I have seen and I have witnessed and I have been a part of sessions in energy work and Tantra where no one's even doing energy work on me, but through proximity, I begin to feel that energy of arousal rising up, going up my spine to my head to the point where liquid begins to secrete, a saliva begins to secrete out of my mouth. And the saliva tastes like honey, y'all. I've experienced non-touch orgasms on a table before. I have witnessed other people have non-touch orgasms before. But what a lot of people, there we go, there Tim is. What a lot of people need to realize is, and I can't wait for Tim to explain it, it at our core, we're all love. Right? God is love, and love is life organically vibrating effortlessly. It's everyone and everything. And that is our natural state. And the only reason why we're not walking around in the blissful cosmic orgy of life is because we have internalized so much things. And just like a white t-shirt, right? These things stain us and we don't know how to let them go. So for me, in what I've seen, Tantra is the most effective practice that you can do to transmute negative energy so that you can let go of all these negative beliefs and negative emotions so that you can experience what your natural state is. So my brother is here. Let's invite Timothy Gibson, aka Mr. Chocolate Thunder, into the room. I'm so excited, y'all. Y'all have no idea.
What's going on, bro?
There he is. There he is. What's going on, Sensei?
Ain't nothing much. Just relaxing, man. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing what you told me to do, so I'm practicing that a lot more. Right. So, man, you know, people didn't know Kobe Bryant when he was, when he was still up and coming. And everyone that I talk to when it comes to the Tantra, man, I know this is not an ego thing, but really, man, I think you're gonna be like the Kobe Bryant of Tantra. Like really, really and truly. I know we take it out of ego, but the thing that I see you do with your hand like this, look, this thing. You know what I'm talking about. It's the same. It's like the swish, man. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, this dude, But let me give I kind of gave a little introduction, but if you could introduce everyone to who you are, because if they haven't noticed by now, I revere you. This is a master of Tantra who's been practicing for, what is it? What, 15 plus years now?
About 13. Since I was
13?
19.
Since you were 19.
32 now.
So, you need 10,000 hours to become a master of your craft. And I know you already hit that number a long time ago. Of course, there's more things to do. There's higher levels to reach because we just keep on unfolding like the lotus. But but my brother, introduce yourself to everyone just briefly. You ain't gotta be just briefly.
Well, it's nothing too big, So for those who don't know, my name is Timothy Gibson. No fancy name. I have a sister that's doing Tantra that's, blowing up too. Her name's Adara Moselle. And from Atlanta, Georgia. And I happened to be initiated into a system of shamanistic Tantra at the age of 19, right? So I'm 32 now. And the reason it's shamanistic, not just the Tantra part, is simply because once you are healed, once you are having these experiences, once your body and your glands are making these certain hormones stuff, once you get there, what are you going to do? And you can't have spiritual experiences without learning how to traverse the spiritual realm and these experiences stuff, And when I came in, I heard my brother speaking about learning how to clear yourself, remove certain patterns and things in order for your natural template to come through. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short little intro, you know what I'm saying?
I got you, man. I got you. This is our first episode of many. So a lot of people know Tantra to be, you know, the first thing they've been marketing or sold is they see that Indian, you know, tantric sex positions, and it's like a hypersexualized sensual experience. But
The African
from
squat.
the words
Squat.
of a master, man, what is Tantra, man? Let everybody know what is Tantra for real.
Tantra is the journey of becoming your highest and best version of yourself and having those experiences in life as the highest and best version of yourself. Um, the journey of going deeper and finding out more about yourself so you can recognize the whole in other people. And in my short words, really, Tantra is the process of smoothly blending in your whole experiences and everything you learned in life in order to actualize, like I said, that best and highest version of yourself, blending
Yeah,
all the things together. If you're living life and you have to compartmentalize
yeah,
and
I got you.
keep things in different areas, yeah, it breaks and fragments your psyche. And most people want to bring all these things whole in themselves and have those inner wars and don't have a process of doing that in a pleasurable way.
Yeah,
Pleasure is not the goal. Pleasure is the outcome. It's just a
yes, sir.
byproduct of it,
Yes, sir.
you know?
And actually, I'll tell everybody a story. Like the first time, the first time I met you when I took Master Yao's class, you know, I was there because it was the second go around. The first go around, I was exposed to it. You know, I saw Shantam Nityama, aka the Tantric Mongoose. I saw him doing his, you know, his superpowers. You know, that's when I worked at Tassili's about 7 years ago.
Right.
And then the second time I came and I actually took the course, it was because that I saw that it was the solution for me to help someone that I love very much heal from the trauma of being raped and the trauma of not being able to feel accepted by her family, right? I couldn't physically touch her because my presence would introduce her to a quality of love that would bring out all the things inside of her that would make her feel unworthy of the love. So if I just touched her, she flashes all this stuff that made her feel unworthy. And I said, well, shit, I need to learn how to do something else. You know, if you can't physically touch someone, which I don't know about y'all, but in the journey of the Hotep, Nei-gong, you know, we think we can solve everything with good penis. You know, that's just keeping it real. But that can't solve everything. Sometimes it requires intention, breathing, and a higher level of development. And that's what I saw with the Tantra, you know, and that's what I actually experienced in the Tantra. Just doing the first level of the class, all this stuff started to come out. And it's like a detox. You can't detox too fast because if you detox too fast, you become unstable, right?
That's right.
Right. So
You know what else?
run
You
it.
can't take away someone's belief system without replacing it with something else. You
Hmm.
can't take away a hurt person's belief system without replacing it with that same belief system, but on the opposite polarity. Like, have the resistance that people get because they want to free the person from what they're going through, but don't have something that's there to replace them, you know?
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
put that in there. I'm sorry.
no, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, it's like everything. It's like the process of everything is polarity. It's like the deep hatred that I once had for the pharmaceutical industry. You know, when my sister died, I was like, yo, I wanna just go around and, you know, really in my heart, if I had all the money in the world, I would have systematically blown up hospitals. But I can't do that because I would go to prison. So instead, I learned how to motivate myself to, you know, I took the hate and I converted it into purpose so that I can then do something more productive to help people. Right. Right. And then in time, I don't even have hate anymore. All I really
Mm-hmm.
feel is the joy of being able to help someone get from one point to the other point. You know, people being able to expand their awareness to understand, like I teach, it's not about the food that you eat, you know, it's about the lifestyle. Your mind, right? If our mind is so powerful that you, Tim, you know, you can project your energy and cause someone to cry tears of joy and release tears of pain. And then eventually, maybe in that session, they may feel some type of bliss circulate through their body. If you can do that with just your mind, what is it that we can do when we learn how to use that to create the quality of health that we want? Right? So for me, this year, you know, I would say in this situation and in many situations, I am the super student. I am going to be the obsessed student, and I'm going to listen to everything that my sensei, aka Mr. Timothy Gibson, tells me, because I want to be able to give people hugs that make them laugh until they cry. That's really my goal. I want to give people hugs that make them like melt, you know, like Shantam, but then laugh until, you know, they're crying, and then I can find my own hand gesture to continue the laughter. Right? I want to be able to do that. Right? So
make sure I write that down. Make sure I keep that as the main focus. I got you.
I wanna bring the joy. I want to bring so much joy and laughter, like that best spirit. Right? So for someone that's listening,
that's a good place to be.
What'd you say?
So that's a good place to be. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, man. For people that are listening, you know, I think everybody's very, very interested in learning, well, how do I go about being able to, what's the first step? How do I go about using Tantra to begin to transmute, dissolve, and let go of the traumas that we've internalized? Like, what would you say is a good framework to understand? Like, if you were to give a skeleton, like what would that person begin to do?
Okay. So in this instance right here, the first step is to take stock of your relationships. Take stock of your external environment, how they make you feel. See which ones are in alignment and which ones aren't, you know? You always got to take stock, because taking stock is the process of building your map. And it's hard to navigate these waters if you don't have a map or know where you are on the map.
That's real. Okay.
Right. So you spoke about the mind earlier. And before we even get to all the sexual stuff, before we get to the energy part, people have to learn how to develop their own philosophy. And they have to be able to filter out those philosophies and know if they're tangible, if they're actually real or a counterfeit. Are these aligned to my natural template, or are these something I've been programmed with by my choice or without my choice? Right. So that's what most trauma does to the subconscious and creates holes in your auric layer. We call them the counterfeit personality structures.
Okay.
The counterfeit personality structures, you know, it's 5 main ones. But I consider these your compass when you're doing this type of work, of knowing when you're leaning too much to an obsessive way of thinking. Helps you identify if you're operating out of fear in regards to your relationship.
Okay.
Let me explain why this is the most important part. The counterfeit personalities, okay, I'll give you a long example. So say we're like seeds, right? And as seeds, we have all the possible combinations that plant can grow from, that tree can grow from, depending on the conditions, if that has perfect air, perfect water, perfect sunlight. But through life, you know, we have to bend our leaves. We have to fight to get certain type of sunlight, certain type of nutrients that we need to survive. So we may have been abused in certain ways earlier, and it bends our trunk or our trees. And that bending of our lives and our spiritual tower, our energetic body, is called the counterfeit personality structures. And they are really there to guard you from your, you know, you create them to protect yourself. So they're like training wheels until you're ready to really embark in this work. And when you come in contact with people who aren't ready to take off those training wheels,
I got you.
And
it's like weights. It's like
take
weights.
that responsibility. That's the first one. if you're with a partner or
So
looking for partners.
so let's pause on that one, because like when you said that, I saw something like visually in my head. Can we liken those counterfeit personalities, like, you know, let's just relate it to the chakras and the colors going up from the red all the way to the purple. Those counterfeit personalities can be like holes in different ones that have different emotions and personalities in us that are out of balance.
Absolutely.
So that creates the deficit, so we can't access higher versions of ourselves, because just like a stream of water, you know, that or a river that's blocked up, there's not enough momentum. There's not enough flow of energy.
Yep. And there's holes. It's blocked up and someone's poked holes in it.
Word. So all right, so okay, I got you. That's why everyone stays at that what's the term that's used? You know, they stay in, is it puberty? They haven't graduated from puberty. You know?
That's one way to put it. They haven't, you know, had successful puberty of bringing on these different energetic houses of the masculine and feminine energy. Another way to say it is that energetically, they've never risen their energy past their belly button.
They're still in the yellow and orange.
Well, barely that.
Or
Barely that. The belly button's usually carrying the first main ocean of consciousness, and well, we can help people get their energy there in like 2 weeks. But once you get there, that's usually when the energy up your tower starts branching off to different subsections where it activates more.
So now
I want to say abilities.
now you use the term that I know everyone's not familiar with. So what is this tower that you're talking about?
The tower, in different sects, they call it the grand central column. It's the main energetic column that goes from the ground down to the earth.
Okay.
You know, we have other meridians that, like the sun and moon, that go through the left side and the right side that connect, that blend together. But what we focus on is the central tower. It's trying to keep a straight path right through the middle.
So when you say that, it's like from the crown to the dantian, which is like 2 inches below the navel. Like where's the crown? Like how do we
it goes into the earth. In some systems, they have 14 chakras.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, for these Tantra talks, we're gonna be focused on this ball of light that's right here, and the tower goes through your root chakra and connects down to the crust of reality, or people say the crust of the earth. So really, the crown chakra and the root chakra is really the same thing. One
is one pipeline. Is one pipeline.
And
where the weight change the color. It's the same energy.
You know it.
The orgon, the pyramid, the scalar, the Qi, whatever we want to call it, it's the same energy. It's the 99.9% empty space that they say is empty space, which is just vibrating so fast they can't even detect
That's
it. Right.
And
so
the process how we get in contact with it, you know, the mind controls it. But first, the energy centers, the chakras, they pull in some of that energy. It gets transmuted from the energetic body to the physical body through the glands. So each chakra is connected to a gland. Depending on how your gland health is, shows you how your connection to the chakra is doing. Once you go into the glands, that's how we really see the biggest effect, especially when it comes to the health benefits. So you can do all this with your mind, but the limit is always still how greased up and how often do you change your oil in your car. You know, you can have a Hemi in there.
Making sure making sure all those counterfeit personalities are resolved.
That's right. That's one part. That's for the mind.
Okay.
For the body, it's the nutrients and the water. Because water transfers easily over to energy.
Yes, sir.
And we don't want to get into like the soul and stuff like that. That's the shamanistic part. So
I got you. No, this is level one. People can jump in your class when they want to when they want to get on the high level, or even on the intro, or get the accountability and support group to be able to continue it.
Absolutely.
Right. But I want everybody to learn, because I mean, and I said earlier on the live, I said, look, without purpose, life is meaningless, but without pleasure, life isn't worth living. Right. And you know, as men, and everyone can relate to this, even women, I know, we think of, most people think sex is the highest pleasure on earth. Some people replace that with making money. Some people replace that with drugs. Some people they will replace it with whatever they want to replace it with. But the ability to make love without touching, that changes the whole realm. It's changed my entire consciousness, just to be able to see that happen. And then on a deeper level, you know, people talk about love, you know, but how real is your love when you can think about somebody and they can feel you in real time? How deep is that connection? How true, how real do you have to be with that person to be able to develop that? Right? We think of, you know, we have sex without a condom, and then you have sex with sex with a condom, sex without a condom, and then you have true connection, deep connection, where you're open to that energy. And like you said, that's where the healing benefits come from. I tell people all the time, you know, I think the Dogon tribe said that at the end of days, the most important thing would be singing and dancing. And when they say that, there's so much to unfold. But as it relates to Tantra, it's the same thing. You're getting in flow. You're taking both hemispheres of the brain. You're holding an intent, and you're feeling that, emotion, and you're creating that singularity. And in that, all of the centers of the body are opening up. The vagus nerve is opening up. There's more energy in that highway, and you are literally, your field starts to expand. Your awareness starts to expand. And you know, and naturally, I think the natural result of that is your energy projection. You know, and what about, I don't know, there's so much I'm curious about, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did this practice become, like, the roots of this practice? Of course, it goes back thousands of years. But when it comes to it being in America and the sequence, did this start with, like, Osho, or was it before Osho? Because I heard that he was, you know, he was doing this on rooms full of people. Talk to me, man. I don't know. I'm ignorant.
So honestly, I believe the first person really brought authentic Tantra to the West was Sunyata Saraswati from The Jewel and the Lotus. You know, Osho brought the philosophy and the understanding of, you know, how to live that life and how to bring,
I got you.
what it looks like living that life. But for, like, the lineage and the energetic presence that staples it here, I would say Sunyata Saraswati. And it's no telling how many other people who are around doing these things. I know there was a section of Indians, like Northwest, who had a culture of advanced tantric culture. You know, of course, then they call it Tantra.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say Sunyata Saraswati.
Sunyata Saraswati. Okay, so a name I gotta make sure I check out. I check out the materials on him, because that's a new name for me.
You heard about the Jewel and the Lotus, right?
I have, but I didn't know the name.
Yep.
You know, names I forget. You know, books and pictures and faces, I have more of a photographic memory. But
I think it's yeah.
So you said step 1, identify the counterfeit personalities. Step 2, categorize them so that you can have the mind map to see where the holes, where you're blocked, and where the leaks are.
That's right.
And then what?
I'll say that's still step 1. Finding, going through your different, whatever you feel drawn to, of whatever type of native map you can get, like astrology, whatever astrology you work with, and understanding that that's number 1. The counterfeit personality is still mastering your mind, you know. So, like, those directions on your map, but you have to know what's native to you versus what you picked up already.
So real talk, like, how would go, like use an example. Like how would someone, after you identify a counterfeit personality, let's say um I'm in too much judgment. I judge myself. I'm super critical of myself all the time. Okay, now that I've identified that I am way too critical of myself, and it causes me to overthink, and it causes me to not show up in the world as I could, or hold my tongue, or not talk to that person that spirit said, "Hey, just talk to him." What after I identify that being critical of myself, how do I go about, like, what's the process of clearing that?
The process is it's simple, but it's not easy. So the process is, now that you're aware of it, it does not have control over you. You have control over it.
Ooh.
So then you can identify whenever that urge comes up, when that, like Agent Smith in the Matrix, anybody is regular until that trigger hits and they transform into the same agent,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? Um,
In order to change something, you have to first identify it. Otherwise, you don't know you don't know how to deconstruct it.
you can't make contrasts of how your life could be if you weren't being controlled by that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, okay. So then, that's where the work comes in. It's identifying when I'm in action, where is where is this part of me deriving from? And if it's
It's,
deriving from that personality that I no longer want to give life to, I have to shift. I have to shift the outcome. I
so
have to shift the energy.
that's one way to go about it. I have a more relaxed way of going about it.
Okay.
Being, being aware of it, and at that moment that you switch into the same behavior pattern that you usually do,
Mm-hmm.
um, just do something a little different. Just do something smallly different. You don't have to have the energy of, I want to change this, but just know that this ain't serving me. Um, just follow me for a little second, because I get a little. Um, it's the relaxing about it that's going to cool that energy.
Oh, I just understood. I just got it. So when you're aware of it, you don't try to fight it, because what you
It's
resist
already,
persists.
it's
You
already part of you, baby.
so you got to integrate it. You got to do what Neo did. You say, okay, you know what? I receive you. I see what you've taught me, and now I accept you. Like it's almost like a like Aang when he was doing the chakras. He said, let the water flow down the
Hmm.
creek, and it would go.
You got to be like water. Water dissolves everything.
Got you. And that's what you were telling me, man. That's the relaxing is really a part of it. But what about for people that can't relax though, man? There's some people that they, for the life of them, they just can't relax. And you know that we've all seen that in women. They just either
Mhm.
hyper talkative or all over the place until that particular time in the night where they no longer have, where their mind is literally reset from an orgasm. What about
Oh
people?
yeah.
What about people like that? Is that a situation where if they can't do that, they need a coach to guide them through?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm not,
Yeah,
I hate to be the guy, but I'm not really type to sugarcoat it.
that's not what
If
we
you
do.
don't have the skills to pay the bills, go get the skills. And if you don't know how to relax, you need to go get the skills, because your life depends on it.
You know, you couldn't have said that better, man.
I mean,
There's too much people out here. Uh, there's so much, man, and I ain't gonna use names, but we kind of know what it is. Like, you can eat all the raw food, you can drink all the water, you can take all the herbs, you can do all the rituals, but if your constant day to day is literally tension based, you're screwed. Those nutrients are just getting peed out, defecated out.
I will try to argue on the other half too, just to see some balance, that constant stress is what activates certain aspects in the DNA. But if you don't know how to get the opposite, if you're stuck on one spectrum for too long, it always throws your body out of balance. But the benefit of stress is that it activates extreme attributes in your DNA versus being relaxed.
You're talking
Being
about
relaxed.
like, you're talking about like a diamond having to be put under pressure, or a pearl having to be pushed under pressure, or gold having to be pushed under pressure.
Yes,
Like our
sir.
bodies being exposed to extreme sauna temperatures or extreme cold.
And if you talk to those people that can't relax, they're always trying to prove something, reach something better.
That means they're never present, and so they're all over the place because they're full of anxiety. They're either in a past they don't like or a future that they're fearful or have, unknown. There's an unknown, so they're wondering. They can't control it.
You know what I'm saying? And how that translates into sex is that, their mind might be wandering. They don't feel present. They can't go. The best way to go out is going deeper inside. But the constant mind chatter, it keeps the energy from flowing down from the throat down to the heart and to the body. And usually those people, they can release a lot more if people massage their throat, doing a lot of throat chakra work, or finding some time in the car just to yell or practice singing or something like that. But they have to get that extra mental chatter out of their head so it can fall down back into their body to be used. But on the shamanistic part of it, it's also spirits that force people to think certain thoughts just so they can feed off of that energy too.
You're talking about a really high level that some people might not get.
You slow
I always
me down forever,
you talk. That's a really high level, man. Some people think about the war on Earth and how the black versus white and the rich versus poor thing, but they don't even see that it's made of the invisible world, where there are entities that have created these people to create the circumstances for you to experience and create that type of energy so that they can feed on it. Right?
That's right.
Right. So that's the esoteric. Yeah. That's the esoteric stuff.
5 weeks down the road, right?
Yeah, man. That's
Okay.
I'm just trying to get people to the point where they can. You know what I will say. I just want people to get to a point where they can feel shifts happening in their body, or they can have that aha moment or that wow movement, so that they can see, wait. If this is possible, what is the limit of my potential? Right? When we get to see people do outstanding feats, just like the guy that ran the 5-minute, was the 4-minute mile. Everybody thought it was impossible until he ran that 4-minute mile, and as soon as he ran that 4-minute mile, people believed they could do it, and everyone emulated it. So for me, if I can drive more people to understanding what Tantra is and getting the practice in and applying this stuff, oh my gosh, more and more people can be liberated from this I don't even want to say the word evil, but this teacher of conditional love, which is where a lot of people have stayed stuck in, which is creating most of the problems on Earth. Right? I guess this could be the space to talk about it, but I think monogamy is one of the number one tools of humanity's destruction. I think separating everybody from understanding themselves at the core and understanding that the other person, regardless to color or what language they speak, is actually a part of them. That division has just messed up everything, man. Everyone's fragmented and compartmentalized, believing that this box that they're in is all that they live in. It's like having access to the ocean, but you're swimming in a pool. Right? So for me, I just want my life to be as I start to do these lives, and we're gonna, I hope we can get some some lives where we get people doing energy work and they can see you in action. But as people get to see this, they're gonna shift, because now they can see what's possible. And you just laid it on them if they really paid attention. The key is being able to one, identify your map and surrender the negative emotion that you no longer want to take control, that you don't want to control you. You surrender its power over you.
And after you surrender, you know what comes out of that?
What?
Deep self-compassion. After deep self-compassion comes that love that everyone feels from somebody. Because once you realize that, accept that deep self-compassion for you from, doing your ways and acting like, the lack of knowledge, you see it in other people, and they can feel that, and it raises them up, you know.
You know, one of the things that I saw in real time, we were in one of the sessions, and I really learned what it was when I started to learn a little bit of NLP and how conversational hypnosis works, is that when you're listening to a speaker and they begin to use all these visuals and situations that relate to you, what happens is they begin to imprint their neurology over on you. You surrender, you're actually surrendering your mind, and they're literally, your mind is like a blank page, and they're just writing and writing and writing and writing and reframing your belief system around theirs. That's what people are experiencing when, for all the people who are celebrities on social media that speak, that's what they do. That's what 19 Keys is doing. That's what Yaki is doing. They're speaking in a way to pull on your pleasure, your pain, your hopes, your dreams. And now they've literally plugged in your hard drive like Mr. Smith, So that's really what we're doing. I think that's the reason why it's amplified. Like I've experienced certain people in the sessions of Tantra, when they're there, the whole experience is different. When you and Adara and the whole, what I mean, the whole crew is there and everyone's there doing it, that's crazy energy work.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. And I was telling him earlier about that thing that came up my throat, and I was tasting my saliva, and it tasted like honey. Bro, it was honey. I went like, and I was like, what the fuck?
I won't be surprised, your healthy ass.
Look, man. I was like, what the heck is this? That's when I was having the experience where the men were doing energy work on the women, and I was just sitting in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow, I think it was because the girl on the table looked a lot like a past lover of mine, and I identified with that connection. I started to breathe in resonance. And then as she started moaning on the table, I started feeling the shit in my body. And I was over there. I actually had to move a bit, because it was, it was right there, man. It was right there. I was like, oh, man, this is going to be a little weird. The brothers are doing energy work on the women, and I'm in the corner getting the residual.
That's right.
What is this? I actually questioned that for a long time, because, the whole taboo of the polarity thing, the taboo there. So it was,
it's a lack of knowledge.
After that,
you know what I'm saying?
hey, man, and then other experiences. That's what I'm going to pause on that. We'll do that another time. We're going to talk about that another time.
I think you should go ahead and let it go.
Nah, man. So everyone has had those sessions in life with another person where when you're having sex, it almost, you don't even have to try. It's just natural. It's like the air that you breathe. You can have sex for a long time, and then you have sex with people where sometimes, as soon as this starts, you over here thinking about, okay, pizza, okay, crystals, okay, goats, you're doing everything to try to not orgasm. What's the meaning behind that, man?
It's a lot that goes on in that, man.
It's a lot to unpack.
I'll say in some instances, like when you're vibing with someone and it seems like time disappears, usually the sexual energy moves past the penis and is able to move to different areas of the body in the energy body. So you're experiencing that pleasure in different parts of your body, and it's bringing up those memories, those flashes and stuff. So your penis is an antenna instead of a cannon at that point. If that makes sense.
So it does. Like for me, this been two situations. There's been a few. I'm 33 now, so I've had my fair share. But I can remember times where sessions with the same individual would even change based upon what it is that I experienced that day. So if I was around somebody that made my heart open and we've always had this really loving, not sexual, just very love-filled relationship. By spending time with that person, I would go back, and now the energy is just all in my heart. It's like all the energy just goes up, poof. You know, it goes right up here, and it's no effort. You know, for me, I think as a man, in order for us to do what we need to be able to do, we need to be able to hold our charge or capacity or battery to be able to hold that energy that she's dishing out so that she can get hers before we get ours. And a lot of the times, if you don't do that work, if you don't deal with the counterfeit personalities, man, you just made me realize some shit just talking. You just made me realize some stuff. So here's a question for people that would want help with this, bro. For people that would want to talk with you, because you know the steps. Like let's say, okay, they know step 1. Here's what I do. Let me identify my map. If they have some trouble or need some help, would they come to you? Would they come to Adara? Like how we want to work this?
Oh yeah, they can come to me. Like I said, my sister Adara, she's a great person as well. I have multiple people on the team that I can point to provide for other people. And you know, I'm open. I'm currently in my hibernation. I really don't do no work from, you know, fall and winter. So I come back out in springtime. So just get with me. I'm an open person. I don't really advertise
good things
large out there.
Come to those who wait. All right. Good things come to those who wait, brother. So if you're in hibernation, you know, let that waiting list build. And yeah, you know, you gonna be straight, man. Especially you with your talents. I tell everybody all the time. There's so much. I can't even speak to the stuff that I've seen Tim do. You know, and I'm just sitting there looking like, what? You know, like is this real life? You know, or other things that other people are able to do. But it seems they're only able to do it really when somebody who's had that cultivation is present, right? That's what I've noticed.
Horizontal gene transfer, baby.
Ooh.
Horizontal gene transfer. This is why humans are made to be social creatures. Because, like I said before, once one person has the knowledge of it, it has a
100th monkey theory,
you
brother. That's
saying. That's why it doesn't take much to change the world.
That is the reason why early in my stage, if I found someone that learned more, that knew more than me, as soon as I met Mama Tassili, everyone knew what I did. I went to work. I volunteered just to be closer to her, just to be able to get some of the wisdom. And then when the opportunity presented itself, I lived with her. I rented out my townhome to pay more for a small room in her house because I knew the value of the proximity.
Mommy Tassili?
Yeah, just like, I mean, I'm telling you, man. And she you know, Sagittarius can be a little rough, man, especially when you still learning. But I learned how to be water amongst that, because even if she's yelling and cussing me, you know, for valid reasons or invalid reasons at times, it doesn't matter, because I know that we love each other. And she's just telling that to me because she wants me to improve, right? So I learned how to take the fire without taking it personal and just being calm in it. And people will be like, yo, how are you calm when she's speaking to you like that? Because I know she's speaking out of love. And so I'm looking at what the heck I did to manifest this situation.
That's it. Even if she's not speaking out of love, you can only take what you can and see how you manifested that and how you're going to use that. Am I going to take this time to look and see where I can apply this? Do I feel any type of resonation in this? Do I feel like I can get better at something? Blah 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 blah. We have to be gentle enough for ourselves to know that when we're being assholes and ain't shit, and take the time to readjust that. You know what I'm saying?
We have to make,
in our community, we talk rough to each other. You know what I'm saying?
We do,
and we have to think about it on the fly. But we talk quick.
It's true, and a lot of the stuff we say, we're not going to think through all the way, and it's going to sound sometimes it's tough love. But I think when we keep the perspective that we're talking to people that we don't want to hurt, and we really appreciate, even in the times of ego when we're just lashing out, then it comes off differently, and we're able to respond to each other differently versus reacting to the thing that the person said that wasn't even in alignment with what it is, right?
And that, like you said, that's that counter personality
We,
structure.
we got to make, and this is what Alex Hormozy said this, man. He was like, when he said this, he was real. He was like, yo, the past doesn't fucking matter. The past, it only matters in the sense as to how we frame it. So for me losing my sister 9 years ago, when I expected to just get a call to say my nephew's being born, I get a call from my mother saying, you know, just devastated because my sister just died from cardiac arrest. I can remember that, and I can let that bring me down, or I can find meaning in that and turn it into motivation and inspiration to drive me forward. Everybody that talks about these narratives of slavery and other people that keep it alive, and the narrative that we're in a war, from my perspective, I think it's a lower place to be, because we have to disconnect from that. We got to disconnect from that narrative in order to shift our awareness to create now what it is that we want. Like for me, and that's just me. I don't think, you know, we could say this is bad or this is bad or this is bad, but if we focus on the good, then the good is going to grow. We're already aware of everything that's wrong. We don't need reminders of it. We need practical steps, love, peace, you know, kindness, and support to continue to go where it is we want to go. You know, and that's me going on a little rant. But brother, I think we gave the people enough for this session, unless you had something else you wanted to put in.
I did.
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to put in there.
Go ahead, man.
I forgot. I had to write it down because, you know, the first thing was, you said you were talking about the attraction people have for each other.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, what do you think attraction is? Sexual attraction, which is really all attraction, really.
Well, you know, when I think about this for myself, I just have been a certain way my whole life. Before I even knew it, it was in my DNA. Second grade, I saw Shawnee Hines, and she was just this beautiful dark chocolate sister, and I was mesmerized. I was just in second grade, just looking at the sun glisten off her skin. I was on the swings, just like looking at monkey bars. I remember this shit, man. Monkey bar, just
It'd be
turning
like
around
that.
and being like, oh my God, you know. And then it was Gabrielle Union, and I'm Willy Wonka, man. I like chocolate. So based on my experiences, I think it can be influenced, of course, like the environment will influence you like a cell, but it is also inside of you. It's already predetermined inside of you based off of your astrology, based off of your environment. It's cultivated, but it's also just there. So it's like a flower or like a plant. I have the genes or the seed of this particular gene pool, and if it is allowed to be what it is, I will always gravitate to those particular energies. It's gene based, and then it's whew, brother, I can't even begin to tap into it, because when you say attraction, now when you're saying it, and I'm rambling, but I'm getting to an
Keep
objective, fam.
on rambling. It
Yeah,
comes out.
no, it's
That
coming. It's coming.
spirit trying to come through.
Exactly. Attraction is the feeling of the love or appreciation or compassion that you've ever shared with someone across all space and time.
Hold
So
on now. You almost made me tear up just now. God damn it.
so so
Say it one more time.
so this is what I say. We don't know how much times we've been here. We don't know how much different realities they are, but in all of these things happening, they're us having experiences with different people. And so sometimes when I'll meet a person, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, bro, you'll meet a person and it's like, yo, you know this person, and then you just want to become one with them, and it's sexually, it's emotionally, it's sexually, it's spiritually, because that person literally represents a reservoir of love that is yours. That love is yours, and they came to you to give you the love that you need in divine timing. Period. That's part of the reason why I think monogamy is insane. But anyway, you know,
That's beautiful, man.
can you
That's beautiful.
imagine? Can you imagine, bro? Everybody has hundreds, maybe thousands of these reservoirs of these deposits of gold and diamonds and rubies and emeralds and infinite bliss. And we've been conditioned to block ourselves from it because we've put all these barriers to love. It's insanity. You
I
know,
agree, brother.
you brought that answer out of me, bro.
Hey, man, you know, that's
that
God
was your
right there.
mind, bro.
That was God. That was that was the essence speaking, that life essence,
Man,
that joy of being alive.
brother,
But, you know, that goes exactly what I was saying. Like, sex in a higher, like we understand sex and sexual attraction on a prehistoric level, like a low level. And on a higher level, sex is just two things that come together to create a change, a new one. And ultimately, that sexual attraction is the first two halves of God that are trying to come back to become whole. But you said that,
yeah,
you know, it's
in a different way.
the attraction between people is what parts of them are connecting to create a whole. And the driving force to become whole again is why we look for partners. You know, I know everyone is on a kick of saying they don't need anybody and stuff like that. But yet
That's
they, you know,
insanity. Everyone, you know it too, brother. All the
they
women have
know
been
it.
tricked.
They know it on one level, but they don't know how to separate that one level from all the other levels. You know what
Brother,
I'm saying?
I guarantee you, all the women that reach the ages of like 35 and they reach 40, and they're the independent woman, reinforced by Beyonce, reinforced by Neo, reinforced by the music. They look around and realize that they were lied to. Like even if we look at the blue zones, man, we depend on human interaction because there's an exchange that's happening beyond the eyes can see that actually is necessary for those hormones to be secreted. We need to be able to express ourselves as we are without holding ourselves back. We need to be able to hug, to laugh. We need to be able to have interaction. We need people, man.
That's right. We're designed to be touched. We're designed to be in tribes. We develop our self-worth of how we develop, give to the community. Like this, it sounds. I know some people want to brush that off, but ultimately that's the truth. Like if you're by yourself, it's good to go deep inside spiritually, but you need to see that representation out in the physical world. And if your external is not matching your internal, you're living in a delusion.
And 9 times out of 10, it's because you're holding on to the things that keep you in that delusion. It's the people that sometimes you need time away from to let time heal. You know, it's the house or the apartment that you're in, and you got, and this is what people don't even realize, women or men, you got old drawers and old clothes and stuff that you wore before you took off, or men, if you're practicing the pull-out method, then you got to wipe it off at some point, right? Then you wipe it off with the underwear, and now you're in another relationship and you're wearing that same underwear. That underwear is still linked with the energy of the previous, just like the mattress, just like the position of your room. That's why you got to change things up, really. If you've gone from one season to another season while you're in the season of self-discovery with different partners, you have to learn how to really clear it and identify whether or not you're meeting a new partner that's going to teach you something new, or you're repeating an old lesson that you haven't learned yet.
I honestly don't know if you can really clear it off. You know, I have a different way of thinking.
Ooh, drop it on me, bro. You the sensei, man. I'm the student.
You know, so I was trained in Tantra, but I've also was trained in a system of how to get my own spiritual revelations and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can really wash it off because
It's a part of you.
each partner that you have after that, you will not have attracted if you didn't have that partner before.
Ooh. Oh shit. Hold Hold on. Oh
We're
shit,
thinking
Tim,
about it,
are you bringing this up?
individual people, but the feminine energy is one big energy, and it works through the different people.
You know, there's something that I would say in private in my private conversations, and I'm gonna say it live. I truly believe that we're ever only in love with one person, one thing. And as crazy as this is gonna sound, it's ourselves.
Yeah,
It's
that's right. Be the
I know
asshole inside,
people
accept
are
that.
gonna hear that and they're gonna say that sounds narcissistic. That is a red flag. But if you've ever done ayahuasca or you've ever had sex from 11 to 5 in the morning straight without multiple and just one, there's a place that you reach where you realize everything is me and this person is literally reflecting me and
Mhm.
merging with me on the deepest levels. It's just me. It's
Really?
me. And it sounds crazy and it sounds selfish, but
It sounds
you know,
simple.
someone just said polygamy for men and women or just men. Man, the only rule is love. The only rule is love. I'm 5'7" and light skinned. If I really love somebody and they decide they want to eat a different meal outside of vegan lasagna, I'm really gonna never talk to this person again if they decide to eat, you know, freaking Ethiopian food. That's that's a very weak kind of love. That's the weak kind of love that that lets doctors
Mhm.
poison people, governments lie to people, and let the status quo of the world where people live with they have this all this power and potential, but they live in this box, man. I just can't be a part of it no more.
I feel that.
You know?
It's those counterful personality structures, man. It's the moment that you feel deep inside that you want to express your true self, and you start thinking about what all can go wrong. How can I prevent this from going wrong? Am I looking crazy?
That
Blah 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 blah
animal
blah blah.
brain,
blah. Mhm.
the conformity, bro.
And not be able to know that you're operating out of fear. That's the biggest thing. Your decision might be perfectly right, but if you're operating out of fear versus something else or peace, it changes the whole outcome. Like
And
small little switches like that.
the people that live in that space, I always say this, man, the people that live in that space of unconditional love, in 1 year of living like that, they live more than people that have lived their whole lifetime in the box.
Mm-hmm.
One, one more, they can experience more joy in a year because they're untethered from all of these rules of man than somebody who's lived an entire lifetime. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying everyone should practice polyamory. You know, you do what's right for you based off your level of consciousness and what you're comfortable with. But there's no way in God's green earth that you could stay here and ever participate in an ayahuasca ceremony and think the way that you do. If you really sit with the experience, there's no way. And if you are, then that just means that's maybe your path. I don't have no judgment there. But anyway, brother, we're gonna conclude this episode for the
All
night.
right, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. I just want to say, if anybody wanted to, we're gonna have more Tantra Tuesdays. I'm gonna post this inside the Holistic Genius community. If you have questions, type them under the post. We will address them next time. If you wanted to get in touch with Tim, you know, we'll find out. I'll put a link so that you guys can reach out to him. But I kid you not, y'all. Y'all are gonna see me do this practice in real time, and you're gonna see how it changes me the way I communicate. Because contrary to popular belief, you guys have no idea how much I overthink. It's insane how much I do overthink. It's insane how much years I've overprepared, studying and being overqualified without just letting the words flow naturally from my mouth. This is just a taste. So, y'all, is it better to work with the same sex or opposite sex to get healing? We're gonna cover that next week with Adara. we gonna cover that next week.
Okay.
So family, yo, Tim, Sensei,
All right. Peace.
thank you for being here.
Can I just put out a warning real quick?
Oh
Uh,
yeah, oh,
yeah, you
yeah.
can follow me on Instagram. Like I said, I'm located in Atlanta. If you want to contact me, I also do long distance sessions. I don't really have a business page, so it's a personal page kind of. So I have some music on there. I cuss and everything. Don't worry about that. My healing's my healing.
Brother, once I get your link to your page, I'm gonna
Gotcha.
share it in the community because I know people right now. I know women right now. They are so blocked up they can't feel love. They are so blocked up they're having anxiety attacks out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, brother, this I mean I keep saying this. You're in very high demand. So, you know, it's just how do you want to do it? Because I don't know the nuances behind helping people transmute that energy so much. You know what I'm saying? So, you let me know how to proceed, Sensei, and then we'll continue.
I got you, brother. I appreciate you again, man, and I wish you the best. Glad you're back in the States.
Hey, look, man, look. I'll be hitting you up, man. We're gonna be doing some training, hopefully live on one of these Tantra Tuesdays, where we can do some Qi-Gong. You could guide me. We could do some breathing, so people can see how many different ways you can develop, you can cultivate your tantric, your highest self through the
That's right.
practice of Tantra.
Because no one's ever taken it the furthest.
Well, brother, I just know, man. I just already know, man. Certain things you know. Like I got this sense when I see two people, I'll get this feeling and I've identified it as they're about to have a baby feeling.
Oh, Adara just joined.
Oh snap. Oh gosh. Oh Adara, we're gonna shout out Adara, Master Adara, who's Tim's sister, but both of them are masters. We're gonna have a conversation with her next week on the 22nd. So this time, 8 o'clock, Tantra Tuesdays, and bring your questions to her, and we'll go from there. But we about to have a blast, y'all. This year is gonna be exciting, and you are absolutely, if you just pay attention, you're gonna begin to tap into these parts of yourself, and as you do that, your life will transform. All you got to do is put in a little bit of the work, and let me not even put in that word. The word work has a knee-jerk reaction. Identify where your difficulties are and learn to breathe and surrender them. With that, fam, I want to say thank you for coming, and I'm going to see you next week for Tantra Tuesdays. One love.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace and love.